Hi, Mike with D2D Millionaire here, and today's video, just want to cover a couple ideas of how you can increase your sales by asking the right questions. So one thing that a lot of sales reps struggle with is they ask the wrong questions in sales, and it ends up turning their prospect away from buying versus leading them to buying. So one aspect and questions you shouldn't really ask are yes/no questions. So what does that mean? Well, a lot of times sales reps early in the sales process will say something like, do you want to buy my products today? And again, that might be a good thing to say at the very end after you've gone through the whole thing. But if you do that early on and they say no, well, you're pretty much dead in the water, right? There's not much we can recover on that. So yes, no questions, often they might sound good to the sales rep and they might think it would work well if they say yes, but most often that person's going to say no. They're not going to side in the favor of the sales rep no matter how great the question is. So you really want to avoid yes/no statements. A better thing to do would be to use an assumptive statement. So instead of saying, do you want to buy my products today? You could say something to the effect like, it sounds to me like you're ready to get started on our program this afternoon. Or it sounds to me like you're ready to get started with our deluxe package today. So instead of saying, would you like to? You're saying, it sounds to me like you are ready. So again, you're assuming the sale, assuming the close, versus asking them and just hoping for the best. So that's one aspect with yes/no questions. Change it to an assumptive statement versus a yes/no question. Another thing, you can use yes/no questions, but you want to use them very sparingly. But at the same time, you want to use it when you already know almost every single time the answer is going to be a yes. Most of the time you can't, but if you ask an obvious question that's going to result in a yes statement, they're okay to use. But again, use them sparingly. So an example might be, do you like living with pests in your home? Nobody's really going to say, yes, I do like living with pests in their home, right? They're going to say, no, I really don't. Well, great. Well, let me tell you about how our service can help you out with that. So it can lead you closer to that sale. You almost always know that they're going to say yes to a statement like that because, again, if somebody said, yes, I like living with pests in my home, they're not a good person to be talking to. Move on, next. You've done your sorting process already, so move on to a better customer. But again, that's the only really time you'd want to use a yes/no question is if you can almost guarantee that the answer is going to be a yes. But most of the time when you ask it, you don't have that guarantee and it's going to lead to a no, unfortunately, most of the time. It drive your prospect further away from purchasing your product and services. So again, hopefully you guys got benefited out of this. If you did, feel free to comment and share. And if you are in the pest control marketing industry, definitely head on over to d2dmillionaire.com and enter your name and email. You're going to get access to our free training video on how to overcome the 8 most common objections in pest control marketing. So learn how to overcome, I need to talk to my spouse, I need to think about it, I can't afford it. Different objections that you hear all the time, just like that. Head on over to d2dmillionaire.com and like I said, enter your name and email and you can get access to our free training video on how to overcome those common objections. But again, head on over there and do that. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.